Did you know?
That chocolate chip cookies weren't invented until 1938? Yep, that's right. Chocolate chip cookies were invented by Mrs. Ruth Graves Wakefield in Whitman, Massachusetts at none other than the Toll House Inn in 1938. There's quite an interesting story about this. Ruth was actually born in Easton, Massachusetts in 1903, and she was educated at the Framingham State Normal School, now known as Framingham State University. Now, they used to say normal school, that just means a school for teachers. Um, but she was in the Department of Household Arts and she worked as a dietitian and learned about foods. She married her husband, Kenneth Wakefield, and then moved to Whitman, Massachusetts, where they bought a tourist lodge named the Toll House Inn. Now, this is south of Boston and right between Boston and New Bedford. So travelers heading south would often stop at the Toll House Inn in Whitman. They would take a break, have a nice home-cooked meal. Ruth actually would cook and serve the guests there. And she was actually pretty famous there for her lobster rolls and also her desserts. So she created the chocolate chip cookie. She took a regular cookie mix, and then she would take a Nestle chocolate bar and break it up and put it into the batch. And her recipe ultimately became the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie recipe. So this was 1938, of course, when she created it. 1939, of course, is when World War II broke. So, of course, people by this time fell in love with her cookies, and they were sending her cookies in care packages to their soldiers that were able to get them both, here and overseas. So she became bombarded with requests for cookies and requests for her recipe. Now, she did come out with a recipe book that was first published in 1938. It was called Ruth Wakefield's Tried and True Recipes. So she decided to contact Nestle when her cookies became so famous. She contacted Nestle, and ultimately, Nestle and her worked out a deal. She sold the rights to Nestle for her recipe for only $1. But she also got an entire lifetime supply of Nestle chocolate. Now, considering that she was very famous for making these cookies and sold them constantly at the Toll House Inn, I would say she was one smart cookie for doing that deal the way she did. So now you know all about the origins of the chocolate chip cookie. All right, well, thanks for coming. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.